Hello, my name is Seth Hedman. I'm a ministry resident at Church of the Cross, an Anglican church in Hopkins, Minnesota, and a second year MATS student at Asbury Seminary, Master of Arts in Theological Studies. I'm going to be talking a little bit today about children in church. I want you to imagine for a second that there was a family going to a big family reunion. Say it's a great-grandfather's 100th birthday or grandma and grandpa's 50th anniversary, right? And all the kids and cousins are all getting together and they're going there to celebrate that 100-year birthday. They're celebrating that anniversary, right? But as soon as they get to the reunion, as soon as you get there, the children, say 12 and under, are all taken off into another room, separate. And then the adults go off and spend time with grandma and grandpa and all spend time together. But the kids are taught, they have like one adult with them that they may not even know, and they're taught about grandma and grandpa. They're showed pictures or something, but they're not actually there with the family. That would feel weird, right? Like the whole reason you're there is to be with the family, is to see grandma and grandpa. Something like this, I think, is what happens every Sunday morning at a lot of churches when the people of God are gathering together to go worship God, to go commune with the Father. But as soon as you get there at the front door, right, the children, however many years and younger, are taken off to their own separate space, to children's church or whatever. And many times that children's church, isn't really related to God or church very much at all, right? It's just mostly a playtime, mostly a time to keep them entertained while the adults do the real church. I think this is a tragedy. I think that this is missing part of the whole point of going to church, to be with our Father, to be the people of God, to have that family reunion where we're all together. In part, this stems from a misunderstanding of what church is all about, right? And what it does is it comes from rationalism, the kind of Enlightenment philosophy that reason and the mind are the sole source of all truth, right? That's how we get to truth. And it looks like a lot of things in the world, but in the church, oftentimes it looks like a dogmatism, a fundamentalism, and it looks like an emphasis on church that is solely focused on teaching, solely focused on the preaching of the word, which is of course amazing and great and needed. And it was a neglect of the medieval church to not have teaching and preaching, right? But if you locate our relationship with God purely in the mind and understanding correct doctrine, then you can have a vision of church that's like a lecture hall, right? Where you show up, you have maybe a little song, maybe a little announcement, and then 45 minutes or an hour and a half of teaching. And then afterwards, what do you ask? What did you learn, right? What was the teaching? You're taking notes. It's like, well, man, I love loving God with my mind. That's a crucial element of our relationship with God, but it's not the defining element of our relationship with God. It is not the only element to our relationship with God. But when we have that approach, then we see an undeveloped mind in a child. We say, well, they're stunted. They can't have a full relationship with God. Unfortunately, we end up doing the same thing to maybe people with disabilities, right? We end up with a paradigm that's very. We do the same with people in, who are just less intelligent, who are lower middle classes, who maybe aren't university educated, who don't have their master's degrees, right? So my vision for the churches in America is one that is not only including church, or children in the church, where they're able to come and be there all together on Sunday mornings, and where there's grace for cooing babies, and there's ways to involve children that are creative, but also a vision of the Sunday morning service that's not purely lecture hall intellectual, but is sacramental, it is symbolic, it's beautiful, it has candles and stained glass, and the children can come sit up front so that they can see, and culminates ultimately in taking communion together, right? Where we, as the people of God, as the family of God, commune with our Father. And that is why we are there. Thank you. God bless.